Hey there, this is Matthew with SurfacePro Marketing, and in this video we're going to be teaching you how to navigate your way around the WordPress dashboard and familiarize yourself with what you need to know in order to develop a WordPress website. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go into our browser, so in my case it's Google Chrome, and if you want to go into your website or how to get into the back end of your website, it's actually really simple. So the first thing is you're going to type in the domain name of the website that you're trying to access, and you're going to go into your domain name, whatever domain name you chose in our previous video, and then you're going to go wp-admin. And from here we're going to enter in the username and password that we ended up building, so info@windowcleaningmh.com, and you're gonna go into that for your password, so you're good to go. All right, now that we're actually in here, we'll notice that we ended up setting up what's known as the dashboard. There's a variety of options on our left hand side over here in regards to some of the usage and functionality in regards to our WordPress website. And what we can do is we can go through each one of these one by one so you have a bit of an understanding as to what the heck is going on. On the top bar, we got the ability to play with a couple of different functions as well. Now, I'm going to use the SurfacePro website to give you guys a couple of examples as to what the heck you're going to be looking at here. This is our business's website so that you guys know exactly what the heck is going on in the back end and what that looks like when it comes to the front end. So our website is, you can go to visit site, first things first, and you'll notice there's not a lot of content on the website itself. From here you can actually go and edit the site and add new post, media page, users, those kinds of things, or purge your site around cache if you want to. Over on the right hand side you have the ability to actually edit your profile, and anytime you want to log out of your content when it comes to developing a WordPress website, I would suggest you go and log out. Now, we're not going to play around with any of this quite yet. We've got a few things that we've got to download first just to get this going and get it looking good, including a theme and a number of editing plugins to get that up and running. Now, we can go into the updates, and basically what you can do is you can update your version of WordPress that is brand new in case you want to get the latest version of WordPress and update that. Now, sometimes it becomes a little bit buggy and you can go in and reinstall the previous version of WordPress you have here. The reason why we have current version 6.9, reinstall version 6.9 is because this is a brand new install. Posts, what is this? This is your post function. So basically what it does is it says, hey, these are all the blog posts that you put on your website. Now, we're going to end up making this look really sharp so that you can, and I've just put up a blog post for lawn care, for example, in the SurfacePro website, so that you can make it look really sharp. And I'm going to teach you guys how to do this and then add information over here and basically show you how to do a one-page blog post so that you know what you can do in regards to creating really good blog posts and getting your SEO lifted. Now you can go in and you can visit all the posts if you want to, or you can add a post. And once you add a post, you can add the title, choose the block. Again, we're not going to be playing around with this. Anytime you want to exit back out to that, go to your top left-hand side. Go from there. Categories. So there are a number of categories that you can use. So in our case, we're going to do window cleaning as a category. Commercial window cleaning as a category. And I'm going to create a couple of different segments in regards to doing that. But, you know, if you really want to, if you've got a roofing company, you could do roofing, commercial roofing company. If you've got a pressure washing business, maybe you got gutter cleaning, maybe you got window cleaning, maybe you got a variety of different things in regards to driveway cleaning, sealing, those kinds of things. And in here, we can do a number of tags. Now, we're not going to play around with this a whole bunch in regards to that, but this is just another organizational function for the WordPress dashboard. All right, now moving on, we've got our media section. And basically we have our library where we can upload all of our media files. This is going to be super important in regards to utilizing software that we're going to play around with called Canva. And from Canva, once we've created our images and played around with those dimensions, we're going to upload the media inside of here as well. From there, you can just add a media file. This is a very user-friendly option to do that. Now, pages, you got a privacy policy and sample page. I'm going to be going over a number of pages with you guys on how to create pages. And then the software that we're going to be using is going to be Elementor Pro in order to develop a really good series of pages and make editing really quick. Again, you can go in here and you can physically add a page if you want to. There's a number of patterns that WordPress will automatically give you to choose from. We're not going to play around with any of those. But again, we can go back in here and just do that. And our comments, if somebody ends up leaving a comment on one of your blog posts, you can go in and actually approve or unapprove it or mark it as spam if you want to. You could do a number of things with it. You could reply to it, quick edit, trash the comment altogether. Appearance, this is what we're going to be using to download our theme. And again, our Elementor Pro is going to be, the software that we're going to be using is called Elementor Pro, and it's going to be allowing us to go in here and develop our theme, as well as our editor to, help us out in regards to the theme editor itself, developing headers, footers, one-page blog articles, a number of web pages, those kinds of things. Now, plugins, this is kind of where the magic happens in terms of WordPress. I'm going to explain to you what a plugin is a little later on, but basically we can add plugins or upload plugins as we need to. If we go ahead and click add plugin, you'll notice there's a whole pile of plugins inside of here. And WordPress is obviously one of the largest repositories for plugins in the world. Elementor right in the top left-hand corner, it's one of the most classic page builders that we end up using. In regards to that, we'll be using Yoast. If you want to build an e-commerce site, I can explain that a little later on down the line. Maybe not in this video or even in this series of videos, but we'll explain WooCommerce maybe later on down the line so you can start selling merch or courses or those kinds of things for your own business. All right, users, if you want to add users, you can. From here, you can create a username and an email, a first name and last name, and then give them access to the website as well as the password and what kind of level of access they have to that in case you want to add users or people who can edit your website, for example. If you want, you can go into your own profile and you can edit all of your own profile information. This is exactly what this is for. All right. Tools, categories and tags converter, import, export. Again, we're not really going to be using a whole lot of these tools in regards to what you can do, but if you want to import content into your page, into your website, such as WordPress, Tumblr, or RSS feed, you can. If you want to export your content, such as your post pages or media, you can download an export file. You can also check your site health inside of here to make sure everything is good to go. This is a tool that's done by SiteGround. So yeah, you can play around with that. You can go and export personal data. Again, not something I ever really use. Erase personal data. Again, not something I ever really use. Now, general, you can name your website, your site title, whatever you want to. In this particular case, we're going to be calling it Window Cleaning MH. We can choose a site icon, and a lot of this will be edited later on down the line using our theme builder. We'll get into that, but a lot of this will be edited inside of there as well. This is just another way to do that. Editing your site icon, I'll show you how to edit your site icon later on down the line so that you're good to go. And then default post categories, you can set that up so it's basically names where your initial posts go if you don't categorize them. Default post format gives you a whole bunch of options to play around with here as well. I won't explain all of those because the reality is we don't really use them. Just keep it set on standard. Post via email, so set up a secret email with POP3 access. Again, not something we're going to typically be using in regards to developing our website. You can actually set up a homepage display, which is your latest post or a static page, and then we can go and set up a homepage, which is now home. That can be done under this section, or it can be done using our theme. which we will be using later on down the line. Discussion settings, you can actually set up the comment settings and default post settings, your page pagination, or anytime anybody comments or comment is held for moderation, those kinds of things to make sure you're not getting a bunch of spammy crap in regards to your website there as well. Media, so image size, you can edit your image size if you want to for thumbnail size, medium size, large size. We'll play around with that a little later on down the line. Your permalink structure, I would just set it as post names, so your permalink structure is actually built like this. I'll teach you what to do in regards to later courses with search engine optimization and how to use long tail keywords in order to get ranked better on Google when it comes to your website. You can create a privacy policy page, create a brand new privacy policy page. This is a really cool option that SiteGround has. This is going to be really important for us later on down the line, especially if we're collecting information like email and phone number, which we can text. Manage consent, collecting technical data about my installation. This is, again, technical analysis in regards to a SiteGround plugin setting to make sure that your website is secure and in compliance with that. Now, a couple of these are options that actually are available to SiteGround users only. So if you're using a different website host like Bluehost or Hostinger or HostGator, you won't actually see these. And this is one of the reasons why I prefer SiteGround, just because they end up creating these environments or these optimizers that allow you to play with kind of what it means to have a super fast website. We'll be going over that later on down the line. Your caching, again, I don't normally mess around with this. It is something that you can turn on if you need to, or off as you need to. It's perfectly fine. Your environment, HTTPS enforce is and always should be on. That being said, you're going to end up getting logged out. Now you'll notice with your HTTPS enforce here that if I go into window cleaning mh.com, because we set up in the previous video our HTTPS enforce from there, from our SiteGround dashboard, our HTTPS enforce should come up right here, and it does. It's basically encrypted, it's nice and secure, so you don't actually have to set this up or worry about this. Again, this is fix insecure content. You can turn that on if you want to, or don't, whatever you want, it's okay. We won't need to worry about playing around with a whole lot of this, to be completely honest with you. What this does is it ends up speeding up your website so you can minimize your CSS files, and basically any of your image rendering you can minimize in order to speed up your website, so you don't have to worry about that. Compression settings, you can turn on image compression. Normally I use a plugin called Yoast, but image compression actually works quite well, and you can use WebP images inside of your SiteGround speed optimizer. So we'll play with that and get your image optimized and your site performance going like a hot damn before you know it. From here, you can do a page speed test or a page speed history if you want to, and that gives you the Google page speed information that you want to from there. Yeah, so this is your site security. Again, going back into this, it gives you kind of an indication as to what's going on for the traffic, whether or not you go login security, site security. Yeah, it gives you a variety of options to play around with here as well. Again, I don't normally screw with any of this stuff in terms of site security. I trust SiteGround has my best interest at heart, and they're obviously making sure that everything's good to go in here. My favorite thing about the site security, though, is that they have the post-hack actions, what we can do in terms of reinstalling plugins, forcing a password reset, logging out all users, and cleaning up and make sure everything is good to go. So that is the WordPress dashboard. Go ahead, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell below, and I will see you in the next video, where we'll be going over a variety of things, mainly some plugins and stuff that we got to install. So looking forward to it. We'll talk to you soon. Like I said, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell below. Thanks. Bye-bye.